just for the record, as you're boarding the plane, United is way better than Frontier. Frontier can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. No hang-ups, no snags, smooth sailing. Heading down to the plane now. We'll take a little nap before we get there. Wheels up, here we go. We are deep in the heart of Texas. We're in Dallas now, heading to Plano, where destination is. Running late because dollar fucking rental car is a fucking giant pain in the ass. And they couldn't get their shit together. So it took them extra fucking long to get us processed and out of there. And they tried to nickel and dime you and sell you everything that they possibly can. So fuck them. So we're on our way now. Looking forward to seeing you guys in about a 35-minute drive. So. Fitcon 2015. What's your name, man?
LED.
LED LED. We saw you last year here, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's the difference between last year and this year?
What's the difference? You're leaner.
I'm leaner, but you're leaner too.
Yeah, we're both leaner, and I got long hair.
You got long hair too. You walk up and he's like, hey, remember me? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You show the picture, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about the Bios3 channel?
My favorite part? The honesty.
Honesty.
Honesty and straightforward content.
What's your favorite quote?
Quote? I like the one you cursed. You said the F word. But I don't want to curse it.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
Now you good?
Yep, ready to go.
Hey, Tyler Tish Show, man. We just been hit the 5% booth. I'm glad I got to meet you, man. Didn't think I was ever gonna meet you.
Where are you from?
I'm from out of Oklahoma.
Oh, so you're from Oklahoma? Did you drive up here just for the event? Awesome, man.
For a good 2.5 hours.
Oh, I thought it would be farther. I'm like so bad with geography. Like I'm so bad. And what's your favorite part about the channel?
I like story time, to be honest with you.
Story time? What's your favorite story time?
Dude, I guess I ain't really got no favorite times.
I'm running out of stories, man. I'm running out of stories.
I like when you was talking. I like when you talk about when you used to work in regular gyms and you just tell stories about that. Man,
what about the wannabe bodybuilders? You like the wannabe bodybuilder ones?
I guess I haven't seen too many of them.
Oh, we're gonna get those. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Alright, so he's got on his belt Ronnie Coleman, Rich Gaspari, and I'm gonna go on the bottom. How you like that? Most people, my high school teacher said you'll never amount to anything. What's your name? Trent. Trent, we're here with Trent. Trent Hernandez. Belt of honor.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Take it easy.
Good to see you. What's your name?
Jessica Corona.
I actually met you yesterday, and you were busy working out, so I don't want to bother you when you work out.
Yep.
So how long have you been watching Bios3 for?
I've been watching you for about a year since I started my fitness journey last year at last year's Fitcon.
Last year's Fitcon. Yeah. Tell me about your fitness journey.
Well, I would work out, but it wasn't to where I needed to be at. I was very unhealthy. I was actually overweight, and it was just crazy. So then last year's Fitcon changed my whole life. So
actually coming to Fitcon, you switched things around from actually coming to Fitcon.
Yeah.
What was it about? Like, what happened? Like, when you got there, did you just got motivated, get inspired? And
it was that, and people were so genuine, so humble, that it just changed my perspective of how I look at it. And then I actually saw you there.
You were like, who's this guy? Who's this ugly bald guy?
I have your little poster that you were giving away that day, and I had it right there on my computer. And not too long ago, I was like, wait a minute. I looked at it, and I was watching one of your videos, and I was like, that's the same
guy.
Dude. I was like, no freaking way, and I just passed you. So last year, it was just like to help me stay motivated and get my fitness journey going. And now it's like I've I've changed, my body's changed, I see it changing, and it's just going to keep changing.
I mean, it's amazing how when you change something like in your life like that, everything else kind of takes a positive spin with
Yes, that is so true.
Awesome, it's awesome. Congratulations. We'll see you around.
Oh, you'll see me. I promise you, you'll see me. I'll be here with y'all.
All right.
Time and time again.
Well, I think I don't do it again. Do it again. It looked good in my head, and then I saw it in the mirror.
What's your name?
John.
John and I met last year here at Fitcon, and then he became an online client. So why don't you go ahead and tell them a little bit about what we did.
I got with Jerry. I met him at Fitcon, south of Dallas. I've been following him for probably pretty close to the beginning of his BioS3 channel, and really enjoyed his videos. Anyway, he's a down-to-earth guy. I met him, trusted him. I worked with Jerry. He was my coach for 16 weeks. Basically, I learned a lot about how I can manipulate my macros to get the desired effect. I've been basically eating on his, similar to what he gave me on the program, since I guess I hired Jerry in August. Feel great.
You're still lean, man. I mean, your face is lean.
Yeah.
You walked up and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm about 40 pounds lighter than I was last year at Fitcon. I feel great for 55 years old. Still doing it.
Awesome.
Rocking on.
Well, is there anything you want to say to the BioS3 viewers?
Yeah, that's a BioS3 bicep, and we're at Fitcon. We're out.
You're on a diet, right?
Fuck yeah, pizza and Ben and Jerry's. You know how we roll.
These are all his. Ours are coming. It's on its way. We don't have these places on the East Coast, the In-N-Out Burger, and we have them in, they're in Vegas. That's where I first tried it. And the other night, I was still following my diet and staying super low carb, and it wasn't time yet. And Rich and Sarah went out to In-N-Out Burger. So before I leave Texas, because it won't be until the Olympia again that I'll be able to have In-N-Out Burger, we're going to go eat now. So we're going to have a refeed at In-N-Out because it's fucking time. It's a refeed. Just finished up with In-N-Out Burger, and it's time to head to the airport. And if you watch the Europa, I think I'm going to make this like a regular part of videos when I go on these trips. The peaks and valleys that Kari and I used to do when we went on vacations, which I think is pretty cool. And I used to play it with her parents too, so the explanation is that's where it's from. It's highs and lows. So what's the highest point, which was the best point of the trip, and what's the lowest point, which was the suckiest part of the trip? So the highest point, I think, honestly, was there's two high points. One was meeting a bunch of new battalion subscribers, seeing some old faces too that, you know, I met here last year. But I think the peak, the actual peak, was seeing my my online client John, who I met here last year, and seeing how well he's doing. And he's still down 40 pounds. And what he did was, he didn't just listen to what I said, like while I was working with him. He learned. He listened, he learned about his body. Now he's able to take that information and, you know, work with it for himself, which is the whole point of it. You shouldn't need me or any other trainer for the rest of your life. You should learn about your body and be able to do it on your own after a certain period of time. But if you're just following instructions and not fucking learning, then what's the point? You're just gonna have to keep hiring someone over and over again, and they're gonna have to relearn your body, or, you know, or if it's the same person, you're gonna have to keep paying them. So that was the peak, was seeing him and see how well he's doing, and how lean his face was, and like when he walked up, I didn't even really recognize him. It took me a second. And the valleys was, you know, we had some shitty weather. That was the low point. It rained off and on all day. You know, we were under a tent, so we didn't really get wet, but all the Fitcon fans that came got wet, and it was fucking downpours. And then on the way to the hotel last night, I'm sitting there getting ready to go out to urban crust with the rest of the 5%ers, and there's a fucking tornado watch, and then it turned into a tornado warning. And I'm sitting here going, it was just, I had to drive like 30 minutes to get to urban crust in the fucking pouring rain, like you can't see shit. And I mean, it was like 30 miles an hour on the highway. There was fucking flooding, and I had no idea that there was like fucking tornadoes around and all kinds of bullshit. But the weather here, you know, it wasn't even that hot. I'm picturing Texas as being like fucking sweltering hot. It's hotter back in fucking Maryland. So the weather here kind of sucked, which I guess put a little bit of a damper on the event. Not much. I mean, people fucking still, you know, came out. It was like, I guess they sold over 1,000 tickets. I'd say maybe if they sold 1,000 tickets, maybe 1,200 people came, which was a big improvement from last year. And it was bigger. It had, you know, bigger YouTube channels there, like Mike Rashid, CT Fletcher, Rich Piana, Dana Lynn Bailey and Rob Bailey were there, which is another huge, you know, name to have at this thing now. So I think it's growing, and it definitely is going to be even cooler next year. So it's time to head to the airport. The trip is over. In-N-Out burger in my stomach. As soon as I found out they had it here, I was like, there's no way I'm leaving without In-N-Out burger. And Sunday is where I'll usually bring up my carbs or even have cheat. You know, like my first thing I had this morning was just oatmeal. I had a thing of oatmeal this morning to bring my carbs up a little bit, and I was like, fuck that, I'm going to go to In-N-Out burger before I leave. So, time to head to the airport, head back to Maryland, and get back to real life. It's like I have two lives. It's like, you know, when I'm back in Maryland, I'm just doing my thing, training my clients, putting up my videos, living my life. And then when I come to these expos, it's like a whole different world. You know, there's like all these people that are into the same things you're into. They're watching your videos, they're asking you questions. Like you honestly feel like a rock star. You really do, because people, you know, as much as they watch all the channels, they really get involved with the channels, and they, you know, how's Bruno doing? And, you know, it's so cool to see it. And, you know, the more videos I put out, the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the events get, the more people that come out. It's awesome. So that's pretty badass. So we're out of here.